I have to say this again. Africans, you just getting here, you've been here, you know who you are, you are a globalist, you are a sailor, a captain, you know your background, you know who your people are, right? You know you're very decorated, When you get here to America, if you're already here, don't allow white people to be the center of your universe. You know, black men, white women, that relationship, it's there, right? But the women, you can't be bleaching your skin. You know, don't be afraid to travel. Don't allow white people to tell you where you can go and where you can't go, where you can walk or you can't walk. Don't allow that. These are your paths. Your ancient forefathers, and foremothers, they built that. Don't allow when you're on a highway, you're on a road, you're on your way to a destination, a white person stops you, or, they honk their horn and they alert OnStar, they get the highway patrol involved, who is these black people on the road next to me, Don't allow that to happen, Feel pleasure to know you can go where you need to go and you can be there going safe. No one can stop you from your travels. Make sure you're licensed to, use the road, right? You have a driver's license, you have a passport, make sure you have all those things. Even if you don't, right? You can walk where you want to walk. You can walk for how long you want to walk. Don't allow them to tell you, it's unsafe for you to walk in these areas, right? Don't allow that, Don't allow it. It gets petty after a while when you kind of see the tricks and schemes that are being played among you, it begins to get very ambiguous after a while when you see what's going on, and you think the people who are there to office it or, be officers to office it, they're not doing their duties, they're slacking, Don't be unhandled by it, Stay who you are, stay what you mean to be, don't be severed, do what you have to do, Like if you're raising a family, right? You all shall always be outside. You all shall always be going on trips, doing what you have to do, right? You want to see the world, You want to experience this inheritance that's called America. Because again, your foremothers and your forefathers built it, whether you're American or whether you're African or whether you're Asian, they helped build it. Your blood, sweat, and tears is in that ground. Think about that. Think about it. Great peace, Yakoki.